6 red cards, lad. You want to go through any of them, just in terms of smashing one? Was there, were they, you know, as a centre half, sometimes you can get done with the whole last man tackle, had to do it, maybe a couple of bookings.
Yeah.
Was there any a time where you've just went and absolutely smashed somebody and you probably thought, I deserved that and I shouldn't have done it, or were all your red cards? Because I've done a wee bit of research, 6, lad. High enough.
Looking back on it, you know, I would love to say that I smashed somebody or emptied somebody out there. I don't think one of those reds was worth the shit. I don't think that you could have said, oh, he had to do that there, or he definitely left a bit on him there. The way I can think, they were measly.
Was there any straight reds? Was there any straight, or was it all 2 bookings?
No, there was a couple of straight reds. There was a couple of.
Well, you don't get a straight red for nothing, like.
We were playing Wexford, right, and this was Ollie's the gaffer, Ollie's the manager at this time, and he's played me left side of a back three, right? So I can't remember, maybe Packy, maybe Dana McNulty, middle. right.
Tommy wouldn't have been there if you were playing left side of a 3, so must have been.
If I was playing left side of a 3, no, I'd say I probably would have been me left of a 3, and maybe call them wing back or something like that there. But I started the game on fire, like, you know, I really have started really well. And, you know, you've got your first headers in, you've got your first couple of passes have come off, you know, you've increased the range on them, and everything's just finding its target, you know, which doesn't obviously.
The radar's on.
Yeah, the radar's on.
Definitely didn't take.
Everything's yours? Oh, mine, sorry, yeah. No,
steady on, please. Come on, know your limitations. Now, I talked you up here in the intro that you were a great defender. Know your station, lad. Right, but anyway, things are going well. What went wrong?
So, I've done a few. I've actually done a step over. I've done a few different things. I know. Leave it with me. So, right. So sold a few lads out of the line. Everything. The confidence is high, and I think I'm actually a wee bit pissed off as well that I've been stuck left side of the 3. I think that might be in the back of my mind, like, you know, because I think I started off in the middle and been doing well, but Wexford were really physical, and he's wanted to get me and Packy and D as the back 3, because remember they always had a real physical presence, and they were a big unit, you know.
So Furlong played up front for them too.
Yeah, Furlong was there, really, you know, pacey and behind, and you had the guy Keenan Rocks.
Aye.
You know, they got this guy's in the army. This guy's in the army. Remember Ollie shouting every.
There was a couple. Wexford had 3 or 4 players in the army, and they're like, "These lads are in the army, boy. They're super fit."
That's bad. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like
I felt like saying them. Stevie Adon used to be in the army. Do you remember him? Still in the army.
Stevie, but it wasn't the case of these lads weren't SAS, like, you know what I mean. So yes, they mightn't have been in the army, but they weren't special forces, black ops, like, you know what I mean.
Putting fucking money in the bank, so they are.
So a few steps. Anyway, look, having a great game, right? So I just started wearing the hairband as well. The hairband had just been introduced.
Oh, okay. They wouldn't like that.
So they were very skeptical about the hairband. Like, he wasn't having it at all, obviously. So whatever happened, the ball's got out, a bit of a to-do down the sideline, and me and Furlong get knotted up or whatever. So he gets up, you know, and it's all head to head. Obviously, handbag stuff, nothing's going to happen. But he flicks the hairband, so he snapped it off my head, right? So I've got, you know, nothing bad, but I've like poked him. So I've gone to poke him, right? I just poked him in the head like that there. Just poked him in the, but you can see my finger going out. Obviously the referee's behind him, so you see my finger going out, catching him in the head, his forehead. But he goes down holding his face. Okay, so he drops to the ground.
He's done a Mickey Funston on it.
Honestly, would have been proud of this one. He's dropped to the ground. He's sold me an absolute treat. Like, drops to the ground, hold the eye, referee's over, bang, red card straight away. And I'm like, you know, I've only poked him in the head. I poked him in the head, wasn't having it. All he's raging, you can imagine, like, you know, get sent off or something.
Was this early on, lad? Was this in the first?
I'd say this could have been 25, 30 minutes into the game.
Down in Wexford.
No, I was in Ballafay.
Oh, I was in Ballafay.
So yeah, so obviously, like,
So just to clarify the story, did he snap your hairband or just flick it off you?
Yeah.
Sorry, we
he's
just so the viewers know.
He's almost had my hair out. I should have went down home my face, but
you're not doing anything. I've just given you a great intro. Like, you're a big tough centre half, and then you're telling us you got sent off because somebody snapped your hairband.
Here, these are the stories you want to hear. I'm just telling you the truth. So he snapped the hairband, and so we've gone back.
Off. Ollie's raging, lad. So what's the crack?
Walk of shame the whole way in, and we get a half time. Ollie comes in, and you can imagine he's absolutely raging. And like, I haven't a leg to stand on. You know, I'm putting my hand up to his face.
Do you even admit? Do you say it's soft? Because it is soft. Like, there's not.
I said I haven't touched it. I haven't touched his eye. By the way, I haven't poked him in the eye. Like, I haven't poked him in the eye. And I was like, geez, I wouldn't mind, but you were flying. Step over and everything. and
he wouldn't like you doing step overs though.
Sorry, but they were coming off, and I was kind of in that mode where I was a bit annoyed. I've been shipped out to the left, you know, not as comfortable as I want to be. I was just playing, and everything was coming off. I got sent off down in Cove for what was the referee said that I kicked the guy. I kicked him in the chest while on the way to the ground, was the way that he put it. Kicked him in the chest. So both of us have gone up for the header. I've headed the ball back towards their goal, and he's sort of stumbling back towards me. And he kind of lands on top of me, and I'm just getting up. I don't kick out. I just kind of get up as quick as I can. Yeah. But he's kind of grabbed my leg. So I've actually kind of fallen because he's grabbed my leg, and then got up and just kind of kept running. Oh. And the referee seen a kick in there somewhere for me. So
that sounds unbelievably harsh. Like.
Yeah. So, and as I'm sort of getting up, as I was slowly getting up, because he's kind of holding my leg, there's like another like kind of melee or whatever going on behind us for other players, because they're blowing them the whistle. The referees ran straight over with the card, literally straight over with the red card. So you know the way players just kind of when it's been given, when the red's been given, then they don't think there's any perspective.
Yeah.
So I started going then between a couple of other boys. And you see lads running from all corners of the pitch, because obviously the camera angle that the game is recorded in. And it actually shows me and the other guy that are kind of involved in the tussle, kind of helping each other up from the ground. You know what I mean? So if I kick this guy in the chest, he's not going to accept it. He's not going to accept the hand up from the chest. So yeah, the referee's red card straight away, and I'm like, what is that for? What is that for? And then you can see the melee breaking up. So I've actually gone in and tried to break up the guys and trying to keep the other boys away. So obviously, because you don't know what's going to happen, is he going to brandish a couple of more cards? So I'm trying to, calm all the guys down and get them away from the thing and get them over away from the dugout, because I'm gone obviously at this stage. So I'm just trying to make sure nothing else happens. Yeah. So the thing, he absolutely annihilated me in the report up in front of the FAI, because they've appealed it. And the video, and we had the video evidence, which was great, because obviously it's it's.
And was this rescinded as well?
Well, that's the thing. I had to go up to the FAI. Me and Ollie went up to plead the case, and kind of when you have something set in your mind, you also what happened, but then you play it over in your mind, so you really have convinced yourself that this actually is what happened, and then you think to yourself, is this
you start doubting yourself,
exactly, you start double guessing, like, what's the referee saying? So I went in front of the committee or whatever that was brought together, a couple of ex-referees and that, and I've come in and pleaded my case, and they said, look, can you talk us through the events or whatever? So I told them what I thought happened. And, I said, look, I understand referees have had a tough, have a tough time, have a tough job. And, they don't maybe get the help sometimes that they deserve. And I've laid it on really thick, saying that, Ray or whatever the referee's name was. I'm not going to mention him.
I think
there, but
Ray, if you're listening, how you've had a stinker.
Ray's got me out. And so, and just said, like, look, I don't know any of these personally. I don't know any of these by name. I showed you that I haven't been brought up to this case before. I haven't had to answer any of these questions. So, it's not really in my nature to be to be kicking out at lads. Like if you snap my hairband, yeah, we might have a couple of issues. Like, but I'm not for the kick. I'm not for the kicking out. Like you might get a finger on the eye or something. But yeah, that was great. Like well played or whatever.
All went grand.
All these kind of said, yeah, look, this is all Keith's idea. He wanted to be here, try and clear his name or whatever. And got down the road, and the thing that it was one game. I got one game.
And it would have initially been a 4-game ban.
6.
6?
Violent conduct. Yeah.
So you needed to go and appeal that. That's mad too. How something like that where again people don't realise where you're giving all that sacrifice and one terrible decision from a referee.
Yeah.
If you get a such
but actually as well, sorry to cut across you there. Actually as well, they had the video there, right? So as soon as I've said my bit, the guy's like, we'll just have a look at it here now. And I'm absolutely panicking. I'm thinking, oh my, is it that way? Is it actually the way it happened? And funny, it's just worked out word for word the way I said it. I think the camera angles really helped me out because it's from kind of it's from the opposite side of the pitch. I suppose looking across at the dugouts, kind of where it kind of happened. And it just plays out word for word. Like, and it was great. And, you got it sorted. And
that's a good rundown. Do you remember my one and only red card for Van Harbs?
Yeah, I do. Ridiculous. Career ending tackles.
No, but
here. Much for your own career path either, I'll tell you that. But going ahead, I'll let you.
What did you say? I missed that one. What did you say?
I said it was a career ending tackle, and I said it didn't do much for your own career either.
No, didn't he? But you know about that one though, but that was like a kind of horrible situation because obviously, I was involved and everyone was raging at the time because I felt and still feel it wasn't a straight red. But I remember James saying after the match that I don't know if you remember, but I remember because about 3 minutes before I was sent off, I was cleaned. Last man.
I couldn't remember exactly made a tackle. I couldn't
exactly like man. That's the thing. It was my first time ever making a tackle, and I got sent off. So I knew from then on I shouldn't do it anymore. But what happened about 2 minutes before it, I was put through and your man shot me, but the ball ran through for Harkin. He was in the 1-on-1, but the referee blew the whistle and brought it back, and everyone was going nuts because that would have been a chance to put us Harkin 1-on-1. You would have backed him, and it would have put us 3-1 up. And then he stopped the play, and then you're expecting him to send off their centre half, and he books him. And Gal and McHugh and all of us were going nuts because we were like, why did you not play the advantage if you were only going to book the centre half? You've just you've denied us the opportunity to go in. But then anyway, I go on the tackle 2 minutes later and get a straight red. And funny you talking about the story, but a melee happens. Like I put on the tackle, and everyone was going mad. It was a free kick. And then he runs straight over, red card, and then this big melee breaks out. So anyway, I go in, and James Gallagher in the dressing room after the match going, look, there was nothing wrong with the tackle. It was a terrible decision from the referee. But Gorman told me then that the lad was taken away in an ambulance. And I'm like, what? I was like, Jesus, like, didn't expect that or whatever. And he's like, I think his leg wasn't a bad enough way, like. And I was like, all right, grand. So I didn't think much of it. And then next day, Gal rings me, and he says, that lad you're involved in the tackle, he's broke his leg in 3 places. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And he was going, I've just spoken to him, like, I have his number here, so I think you should give him a call. And I'm like, right. And like that way where you're talking about sentence off, if you've done nothing wrong. Like I knew hand to me hard, like there was no malice. As you've just made a joke about, I didn't tackle, like I couldn't tackle, like I couldn't tackle anything, like. And
but as a character, you yourself, I know if you were wrong, you would hold your hand up and say you were wrong.
100%.
But it would kind of be a disingenuous sort of apology then, because you're like, I'm saying sorry here, like but I didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you sort of have to go there and say, like, look, I'm sorry that this has happened.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing. But I mean, in my head, I was then, that way where you feel bad, like, because obviously he broke his leg in 3 places and you're responsible for it. But it wasn't, like, I knew deep down in my heart, I went in that tackle, no malice, no intent. I didn't go, I'm going to leave my leg in. And it was a weird one because he's tried to hurdle me. And it's my knee that's caught him just above like his shin or just below his knee, I think. And it's a impact one, like. And then it looked and sounded horrible, and the referee sent me off, whatever. But I knew deep down, like, there was no malice. I didn't go and try to be a scumbag, like. So I get the number and I ring him. Yeah. So obviously it's an awkward phone call. So I say, look, hi Gary, it's Mark here. I was the player who was involved with you with that tackle last night. He was like, oh, all right. And I was like, look, I'm very sorry. Just after hearing like you've broke your leg in 3 places. And I says, I hope you know there was no malice or intent from me. And like there's silence like on the other end of the line, and it probably lasts about 5 seconds, but in that situation it felt about a minute like. And
Hello?
I didn't say anything. I was waiting for him to say something, and there was a pure silence. And then he kind of mumbled something. I don't really know what he said. He just goes, you know, whatever. Like he didn't want to speak to me, and I could understand that. Like, but I was just doing the right thing to say, look, I didn't mean like for that to happen to you, and I'm sorry. And then I was kind of saying, you know, what's the prognosis for the rest of the season? And he was like, I'm going to be in plaster for 6 months, and you know, I'm pretty much out for the season. So I mean, I couldn't even offer him any sort of, you know, consolation or you'll be back whenever. I just said, look, I'm very sorry for what happened, and I really do hope you know there was no malice for me to do you any harm. I'm not that type of player. I wouldn't do it. Like, yeah, that was me. But like, imagine like someone who like literally, I don't even remember getting booked that much, and I obviously was just I just never tackled anyone. I couldn't get near anyone. Too slow.
Remaining on the themes of red cards, not our own personal ones. Any others come to mind when you think of red cards?
Red cards. I remember Funsty's. You know, he was a man, as you've already touched upon, for getting men sent off and stuff. But I remember him getting sent off, and it was a silly one from him. I think we're down in Waterford, and I think it might have been 2-0, and there was a boy being a dick in the corner, you know, like running the clock down, like. And Funston just comes in, like, just runs madness from him, like, because he had a great game that night as well. And he was a brilliant player for us. You didn't want to miss him through suspension, like, and he just gone and he just scissor chopped the boy, like scissor chopped him, and straight red, like you couldn't even argue. It was one of them, you know, as a player, you're like, what are you doing, Funston? Like, this is stupid. The man's just gone bang, red card. So then we come in the dressing room after, and James is like a fucking bear, like, and he's like a fucking bear. But obviously Funston was just really angry and then did it, and then that you know, he wasn't even at the stage where he was like, that was the wrong thing to do. He's just still raging, like. So Funston, like, Gal comes in, we all come in, and Gal waits, so we're all in, and Gal just starts fucking going into Funston. But instead, as you did with Ollie, just sitting there and taking it on the fucking chin, Funston started the out, you know, Funston, the old finger wagging.
Finger
like, hold on a minute. And the old finger was coming out. But Gal was trying to say his point, and Funston kept talking. And I remember Gal going, shut up, Funston. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. And Funston was going, hold on a minute, Jim. Hold on, right? And he was walking to him closer and closer, just going, shut up. Just shut up. Shut up.
Yeah.
You know that scene in Father Ted? Man, I was a wee bit shut up. And then it got the stage, right, where he just caught him by the throat, like. And the funniest thing I remember was, even when he caught him with the throat, Funston was still going, and you know the strength of Gal, like, he had him off the ground. Funston's legs were kicking, and I remember there was only a few lads that would have been actually able to sort of try to impose themselves on James, and you were one of them. And who else was there? I remember you definitely went over, and you're like, "Hi, how the fucking like trying to." You're telling Funston to shop as well, but like trying to get Gal. There's definitely you, and who was it? Colin might have been there.
Packy would have been there too, probably. Packy was
probably like 3 you. I think it was Colin, you, but I remember you. I couldn't believe it. Even when he was still been strangled, Funston, still go. So that's one that sticks out in my mind, and. I don't know. Do you remember?
I remember one.
Do you remember one?
I have one from. It was actually the first game that I played under Gal.
Right.
And we're playing up in Terryland, but I think we're playing Merview. And I think they used to play their home games at Terryland, and I think it's the last couple of minutes. Game's over, and I think we're 3-1 up or something like that there. And Mick Mick has the ball or something like that there. There's a bit of a to-do anyway with Mick. Mickey, one of the players, Mickey Funston, one of the players. And there's a bit of a, they kind of put their heads together anyway, just press them together, and Mick's just dropped like a sack of spuds. And all the referees,
like Danny Furlong.
The guy hasn't even touched him, and Mick's just dropped, and the referee slid over with a red card. But Tony Shields, who's playing centre field for us that day, thinks that the Galway guy has done Mick. He's headbutted Mick, so he's straight over on the first on the scene. Bang, and he doesn't need it. There's no question. There's no question. He sinks the head. In his goalie, and he's down. And then there's a scuffle, and it's all calmed down or whatever. Like, so I think the referee just nearly blows it up after that, just to get everybody off.
It was the last minute of the match, wasn't it, or something crazy?
Yeah. Oh, the game was over. The game was over. Mick's like, he hasn't been hurt, so he's actually sold this guy, and he's leaned in, fallen down. And Sheely's over to protect his mate. He's thinking that the guy's done next, so he's over to protect his teammate. And, with a headbutt. I don't know how you justify that, but anyway. So the game's over, walking back in the tunnel. And, we won the game 3-1. And then, the atmosphere is just flat. Like, everyone is just like, it feels like we've kind of lost the game after all that. We know how important Shieldsy was going to be for us. We needed him in the team. Unbelievable talent. We needed him to be there, and so we're all sat down in the changing rooms, and Gal is pacing. He's up and down, and he's just ready to erupt, and we know it's coming. And he just turns around and he goes, "Fuck you, Sheezy! Fuck you!" Anyway, like that, and he's going mad. And Mickey McGlynn sat in his wee cool box, And he drives it, and he puts his foot through the cool box, and he's like looking at it like he's just broken his new toy, He's like,
Ace is flowing out of it.
He's going ever kind of like, there's no need for that, sort of thing. And Gal's still in the middle of it. He's like, last fucking minute, you go get yourself sent off. That's you now for probably 6 weeks. 6 weeks, and he swings and kicks the physio table. Mickey stuff's getting away, dude. Kicks the physio table, but as he kicks the table, he's got the studs on the tile floor, So he kicks the table and he kind of slips, and he's got the feet are kind of going like this on the tile floor, like he's trying to steady himself. He kind of leans against the wall, gets himself steadied up anyway, and continues on the rant anyway, and says his piece to Sheedy's, he just sat there the whole time.
He was despondent, in fairness, like he knew.
Yeah, he knew, absolutely. We all knew it was. We were all kind of raging, like, so. Everybody's happy. He's like, "Go and get your shower and get us down the road," disappointed or whatever. And everyone's kind of gone about their business, with showered up and stuff. And there's only a few of us left in the change rooms. Anthony Gorman, their obviously assistant manager. Gal sat down after he gave his rant and hasn't moved since. Pretty much like he just sat in the one position. Contemplating his next move, I suppose. But so we're all kind of sat there, and there's only probably about 3 or 4 of us left, and Anthony kind of motions over to Gal, and he's like, when you kick the table, you nearly went down. Almost trying to just break the ice, like things are still no talk at all. Light mutterings going on, a few guys, but he's like, kind of almost went down there when you kick the table. Like, and Gal's kind of lifted the head. He's like, he kind of a smile, his bright smile, because he says, but if I went down there, Sheedy was fucked, he said. And he would have killed him. If he went down there, Sheedy was dead. He was absolutely full head up.